ABC 7 News at 5.
You know that when he first called me, he had to be reaching out for somebody. And he thought of calling me.
The godfather of Stephen Kazmierczyk talks to ABC 7 about the Northern Illinois gunman's behavior in the days before the shooting rampage. Good evening, everybody. Earlier today, the first steps are taken to reopen the NIU campus.
Members of the NIU faculty returned to the school this morning. They began training to help students cope with last week's tragedy. Teachers, graduate assistants, and some staff members will be trained all week while classes are still canceled. About 300 volunteer counselors will be on campus next week when students return. Stephen Kazmierczyk's godfather says the gunman reached out to him in the weeks before the campus shooting.
He spoke to ABC 7 I-Team investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy. He is here now with an I-Team exclusive. Chuck.
Cheryl, Stephen Kazmierczyk hadn't talked to his godfather in years, the result of a family falling out. But out of the blue a month ago, Kazmierczyk called Richard Grafer, the godfather, back in Des Plaines. It was the first of 5 lengthy phone conversations, the last of which came shortly before Kazmierczyk's murderous assault on an NIU geology class.
If you shoot a guy, you have to pay the price.
During the phone conversations, Richard Grafer says he tried to talk his godson out of buying guns, and he tried to catch up on the years they were separated by a squabble with Kazmierczyk's parents.
I asked him about school, if he was getting along with the other kids. He said he was having a great time.
But Grafer says gun advice was one of the reasons Kazmierczyk called him after so many years of being incommunicado.
He said he had a guy that was selling him a .380, and I told him, forget the guns. Buy yourself a good fishing rod.
The 27-year-old Elk Grove Village native didn't listen to his godfather. He bought the .380, a couple of 9mm pistols, and a shotgun, and he used 2 of them last Thursday in the killing rampage here at NIU. When Kazmierczyk stormed the Cole classroom, it was just a couple days after he had spoken to his godfather for the last time.
He called me Tuesday before Thanksgiving, before the Valentine's Day. And he said that he was going away and that he'll talk to me later. You know, because he's finishing his finals and he's going away. And he'll talk to me later. And he says, I love you, Uncle Dick.
Grafer told the I-Team that Kazmierczyk claimed he'd broken up with his girlfriend just before Christmas, even though Jessica Beatty has said in an interview that the two were still a couple and planning a future together. Grafer says he had no clue that his godson was distraught or on the edge of violence, that the two of them were even planning to see each other on Saturday, 2 days after that fateful day in DeKalb.
He's not a monster. This is not Stephen. That's why I keep waiting every night for his call.
Richard Grafer says that when he heard the gunman used a Glock 9mm pistol, he knew Stephen was the trigger man. Still, he called his godson's cell phone at 4:24 p.m., an hour and a half after the shooting, hoping he was wrong. Having heard nothing and with no official word that Kazmierczyk was the shooter, he called the cell phone again early the next morning. No answer, no return call, of course, and as of today, no explanation or motive for his godson's behavior.
He knew his godson had gone off his medication or not?
Despite some reports elsewhere, he says that he never discussed medication with his godson, didn't know he was on it, much less had gone off it.
All right, Chuck. Thank you. Family and friends are gathered.